Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks, we're back with you, rolling through here. We have got a friend of mine on, Wil Van Winkle, and the Six Pins. You can go to vanwinkle.band.com and check him out, no doubt about it. How you been doing, brother?
Doing all right. How are you today?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can. Can you hear me?
I got you, baby. Yep, I did this
All
big
right.
intro, and you never said anything. You're supposed to say, oh, we're so glad to be here.
Yes. Well, we are very glad to be here again, especially since this time there's no baseball game.
Oh, I know that's right. I guarantee it, man. So, golly, what's been going on up in Nashville?
Oh, lots of freezing and COVID and songwriting and gigging.
Golly, you know, this COVID stuff, is it over? Man, I don't mean, you're out there. I've not really done anything yet. We've got some stuff on the books, but nothing major. But now you've been out playing. Have you, I mean, how is the crowds?
The crowds are actually pretty good. You know, every once in a while you get into a place where they have higher numbers, and so the crowds are a little bit less. But for the most part, they've been pretty good. Very receptive to having live music back. And most of them seem very excited to have somebody there.
Yeah, I know, man. I got a lot of folks like you that I know that's out touring, and you know, now that COVID's kind of, I don't even pay no attention to COVID anymore because I got it, then had the flu on top of it, and I made it through it. I lived through it. I lived through what was it back when 2000 rolled around? What was that called? Everybody was freaking out.
2000.
The millennial, when we was changing into the millennial, I made it through that. What was that called? I can't even remember.
Y2K.
Yeah, I made it through
Y2K.
Y2K. I made it through the blizzard in '93, and I made it through COVID. So I guess I've got it going on pretty good. But now everybody's freaking out because gas prices are so high. They're like, okay, well, people's not buying tickets because they're having to buy gas to go to work. Man, it's just one thing. It's just against the entertainer, seems like right now.
Yeah, COVID ended, said you guys are free to roam about the country, and the oil company said, no, you're not.
That's it. That's not good at all.
When the bands are carpooling to a gig, you know things are tough.
Well, that's kind of the way it goes anyway, man. It's hard to make a living as a musician right now, man. I mean, honestly, goodness, with all that's going on.
Hey, maybe if we don't buy gas for 14 days, we'll flatten the curve.
You think that's what it'd do it?
Probably.
That's a good idea. Packy's been listening. What's the name of that band? Have you ever heard of this bunch? What's the name of their band?
Pomplamoose.
Pomplamoose? You ever heard anything like that? They talk about killing their boyfriend because they left.
I've heard of the band. I've never heard any of their material.
Well, you're lucky.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, and they were one of the bands that they were talking about. So
Yeah, I don't know, man. You don't want to hear none of the music. It makes you mad. It hurts your feelings. Yeah. So I don't know, but anyway. Hey, we had this thing with, everybody's talking about this. I hate to bring this up, but I'm going to anyway. Will Smith went up there and slapped Chris Rock. And everybody's like, oh, it was staged, it was staged, it was staged. And I'm thinking, man, I wish I could get Will Smith to come slap me because Chris Rock booked, like his bookings went out of sight like 10 times what they normally book.
Yeah. I don't think it was staged by any means, but I think what happened was, Will Smith saw that Jada was actually offended and decided he had to go do something. Well, he's known Chris Rock for years. He walked up there. You saw that there was a pause before he hit him.
Right.
He probably said, act like I hit you.
Maybe.
And they did it. And, Chris Rock's doing a solo tour. Will Smith is rebooting The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on a streaming app as a drama. So maybe he's trying to create a darker image. I don't know. I don't really think it was Will, though.
The thing
Slaps like a girl.
I don't care what they say. That actually was the first time that the Oscars had anything interesting going on that I can come up with. I just thought that was great. It's like when you go to Walmart and a fight breaks out. It's like, thank God, man, something.
It was like 92% of the population said that if Chris Rock didn't get slapped, they wouldn't have even known the Oscars were on.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you go to Walmart and there's not fights. You live in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, no, that's the truth.
We have the 300-pound women in spandex.
This is no kidding, Will. I got a buddy of mine, and his daughter had a baby, and he went up there to her town, and I said, well, now how big is this place where she lives at? And he said, oh, they got 2 Walmarts, so that's kind of the way he judged the size of the town is how many Walmarts you got in your town. So that's a redneck way to judge the size of your city you live in.
Up here, we judge them by Dollar Generals.
Oh, there you go. There we are. There.
It seems the smaller the town, the more Dollar Generals you had. I used to live in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Right.
We had 7 last time I counted.
Wow. Now they have a big car show up at Lebanon every year. I love that. They have a big rod run, or not rod run, but rat rod run or something like that in Lebanon, I think it is.
Do they do that in Lebanon too? I know they do it in Gatlinburg.
No, I think they do it in Lebanon. Yep. Folks,
I know they do a big Mopar show.
Oh,
you should bring that car up here, and
Yeah, we need. Hey, I almost got the Blues Brothers car done, man. We need to use that in one of your music videos.
I'm sad, man. I've been watching you do that online, and I had a '63 Impala hardtop that I was going to work on. And I had it for 8 months. The only thing I was able to do was take the tires off, so I had to finally sell it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that made me sad looking at you do that, because I was like, man, that would have been a great project.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. That's the thing, the difference between me and you, though. Like, if we got one that we ain't gonna fix, we'll just set it up on blocks and leave her sitting there, mow around it, and all that good stuff. So, but anyway, hey,
I got to keep the girlfriend happy. I can't live in the tour bus all the time.
Yeah.
Yet.
So now you've been in COVID. You've been writing some tunes. You said.
Yeah, we've been doing some writing, some recording, just trying to get a whole bunch of stuff out. What we're doing this year, instead of releasing an EP, we're releasing a single every other month. We've got one coming out in April called The Old Man's Lonely Tune. And it should be out on April 15th on most major streaming platforms. And if you go to our Facebook, there's a link so you can pre-save it on Spotify, Apple Music, and Deezer. So it's out there. Just gotta go look for us. And Will's only one. I used to tell everybody it's because I couldn't afford the second one. Now I'm telling everybody I'm one hell of a guy.
There you go. I like that better. One hell of a guy. Yeah. Will, yes, W-I-L, Wil Van Winkle. So, and y'all can do that. And that go to Facebook, and that'll link you to all the stuff that you got going on. Now, didn't you you're releasing a single every month. I think that's a good idea because, used to, back in the day, you had singles and then it went to records and all that kind of stuff. And I think we're back to singles now. Are you printing any CDs or records or anything like that?
With our last EP, we did not. With our debut EP, I've been around for a lot longer than the band, so I've got a solo channel on all the streaming platforms too. So if you like the band music, find me as well, because I make 1/14 of a penny from that.
Oh yeah.
So we did the EP. We released the first EP that we did as a band, Perpetual Club of Sages, Philosophers, and Other Idle Personages. Really long name, sorry. That one actually came out on CD.
Right.
I printed 300. I have 200 left.
I know how that is because people don't have CDs anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even your car doesn't even have a CD player when you buy it anymore. So no one's got any way to play them. Computers don't have CDs on them anymore. So just physical media isn't what it used to be.
Right.
So with the last EP, we didn't press any discs, and with the upcoming singles, we were thinking maybe we would compile them at the end of the year when we were done and put them on a disc, but they're just not selling. So it's like, I'm carrying this heavy box of, 300 is your minimum order. So I'm carrying this heavy box of CDs and we can't get rid of them. So I'm just doing streaming. I mean, you don't make any money off of it, but it's a great marketing tool.
Yeah, it gets your name out there. We had that Jib Machine Records on a couple of weeks ago, and he said that a lot of people are going to the records, the vinyl records. But the issue with that is it's 8 and 10 months out before you can ever get your record, and you've got just released a new album and you need it to go. And so that's another issue that they got. Nobody's doing, and of course, nobody's got record players either, but they buy them to stick on their wall, I guess. I don't know.
Well, another issue with vinyl, and actually record players are they've been rising in sales, but the problem with vinyl is not only the turnaround time, it's the minimum order and the cost. It's basically you end up paying, like, as an independent artist, you're paying $15 per record.
Right.
And then you have to turn around and sell them for like 20, 25 to make any kind of profit, and just people don't want to pay that, especially if you're on the indie level. If you're, more well-known and you're getting played all over the radio, it's great, but for us little guys, it just doesn't quite work out.
Yeah. And I pull for the little guys, man. I really do. Cause it just seems like, and you're there in Nashville, so you know how it works. They take over your life and they sign you to a contract and then you belong to them. And then the little guy don't get a chance. And it's a lot of people forget where they come from. You know, you got some of these artists that struggle just like you have, and then they make it, and then they forget about the little guy. I think, you know, if I ever done it, I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna get this little guy to open for me, or I want this or that and other. But you know, it's kind of sad the way they overlook. And a lot of good music is out there now through the streaming or through, you know, just like us promoting you, and people go and check out Wil Van Winkle and fall in love with your music, and you can build your own audience as well as anybody else. It just takes longer time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, we're at a really interesting time for the music industry. Like it used to be, and I mean, you've been around for a little while, so you know, you used to have to spend thousands of dollars to go in and record.
Right.
So your production was ridiculously expensive, and your you know, to try to distribute it, that was expensive. Now you can record, you can set up. I built a PC for like $300, and I had recently just had to repurchase a recording program. It was down to $100.
Right.
Like, so for $400 or $500, you can record your own stuff. Distribution is cheap to get it on Spotify and all that. Now it's marketing promotion that everybody needs to be spending the money on, but most people don't think about that. Everybody's still thinking about the old record company mindset, and they're still trying to put all the money into getting discovered by record labels rather than getting discovered by consumers
Right.
or listeners. And I'm looking for listeners, and you know, I don't care if I'm famous. I would like to get back to a point where I'm making a full-time living off of music and not having to work a day job.
Right.
But you know, as long as I'm out there and putting music out and playing live, I'm having fun. So that's really what counts to me.
Yeah, doing what you like to do, that means a lot. Yep, I'm with you on
yeah.
that. And but yeah, you're right about that, building up that your social media stuff. But you know, that's the thing about recording. A lot of folks go to Nashville and they like the bling bling of all the stuff hanging on the walls and all the buttons and whistles that's in the control room. That 90% of the stuff in there they don't use. They use the same stuff that you spent $300 on and doing it at home. But a lot of people pay big money still to get these recordings because, oh, look at all the buttons, look at all the whistles. These guys are got to be good. But you know, so much has opened up on recording at home. It's unreal.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, if you're somebody that wants to do some recording, but you're not real comfortable with the mixing, you can always, you know, record yourself and then send it off to somebody who has a little bit better of an idea to mix it. And I do that sometimes too, where I'll, if I'm too close to a project, I'll send it off to somebody, or I will accept stuff from other people and do the mix down for them. So it's just, everything's going to be everything's a little different for everybody, and you just got to find what works for you these days.
Yeah. So now you got some shows coming up. Where you going to be at?
All over. I mean, we are Friday night. We're playing a little club called Twin Kegs 2 here in Nashville.
Right.
Saturday, I think we're at just one more in Manchester, Tennessee. We've got a couple of festivals coming up. We're going to be playing at the Henry County, Tennessee Pioneer Days. We're going to be playing at the OC River, someplace up in Indiana, or Herbst Fest, Huntington Herbst Fest, but it's like the fourth Friday of the month.
Wow, you got a lot going on, man. That's good.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking with our PR guy. He's trying to get us on to the Josie Awards, which takes place at the Grand Ole Opry. So I'm like really crossing my fingers about that, because you know, if you've ever listened to anything country music, you know of the Grand Ole Opry. We're not particularly a country band, so we may not make it on. We're more Americana, so we
Right.
do lean a little more towards the rock side of things sometimes. So I don't know if we'll make it on, but I'm really hoping that.
I don't know, man. I used to be pretty excited about it. I always wanted to play the Grand Ole Opry, but they let Reno Collier on the other night, and I thought, well, there goes that. So I ain't that excited.
Well, maybe it's not what it used to be. I don't know. But Garth Brooks played there earlier this year too. So
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Garth Brooks, man, he ruined country music. I think he's the guy. He's the bird. He's the one. He did that. Ow, ow, ow. Remember, he done that, and every band in the world would do that when they got up on stage.
I do kind of remember that. I wasn't really listening to any kind of country back then.
Right.
When he was at the height of his popularity. When I say height of his popularity, the man still pulls in stadium-sized crowds.
Oh,
so,
Lord, I know it.
But yeah, I wasn't listening to a lot of country at that time, so I may not be 100% familiar, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you'll pick it up. Yeah, if you listen to any of his songs at all, but yeah, that is so funny. But that Josie's role pretty good. I think we're supposed to have that gal on here that's actually over that, so I'll throw in an extra good vote for you if I can do that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to put our name in their ears so that they put us on as performers. I mean, we're more than grateful for. We'll do anything, like push your show as far as we can and hand out swag if you got it. Whatever, man. I'll bribe you.
Yep.
I'm not ashamed.
There you go, man. I guarantee it. Well, man, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I hope I hadn't left anything out, folks. Y'all go check it. And that's Will. What do you say? It's just one L. What are you? You're a one L of a man.
I used to tell everybody I could only afford one L. So when you look up Wil Van Winkle and the Six Pins, make sure you only have one L. Now that joke's getting a little stale, and it was never a good joke, but that was the point.
Yeah.
And now I'm telling people that I'm one L of a guy. That way,
Yep.
you can try to draw them out and they'll remember it. The worse the joke, the more likely they are to remember it.
Hey, man, we got Packy's joke of the day on here, and pretty much it. Yeah, people remember it, or they try to forget, but they can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, Wil Van Winkle and the Six Pins. Y'all go check him out, like I said, and this guy's a good friend of mine. And like I said, y'all go check out his music, download it. I don't know if that helps or not, but subscribe to him and support him, because download, I think he make like a third of a cent.
Yeah, I found out that it is very important if you are following us on any kind of streaming platform to follow, download, whatever they do on that particular platform. That way we get into the algorithms and then it boosts us further. Yeah. And we do have a brand new song, The Old Man's Lonely Tune, coming out April 15th. And if you want to go to our Facebook or Instagram, you can find links to pre-save it on Spotify, Deezer, and Apple Music.
Well, man, I appreciate you. We support you any way we can. Just give me a shout out and we'll get you back on here in a day or two, see what else is going on. And hopefully I get to see you in person, man, up on stage. I'll be standing back there. I'll tell everybody I'll be hollering Freebird. You'll know it's me.
Well, usually when someone does that, I will give them the free bird. This one right here.
There you go.
Made a biker very angry one time, but I survived it, so we're okay.
Yeah, when you're doing that to a biker, man, there comes a point where it's like, is this worth it, or do I want to live? So yeah, I'm kind of.
Well, I was even worse because right afterwards I played "Kiss" by Prince, and I dedicated it to the guy who requested Freebird. So I did almost get killed that night.
And you're still here, man. The Lord must be with you, Bubba. Yep. So anyway.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We're gonna get to a break. Like I said, we'll be talking to you, man. You take care.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right, bud. Thank you for spending a little time with us. And remember, you can tune in every morning at WJULradio.com at 8 a.m. Eastern. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook, The Morning Dish.